Hello and welcome to another episode of Become a Better Writer podcast with, of course, your host, Olalekanmandela. Today we are talking about headlines. So you've written those powerful, beautiful write-ups, you are so good, but nobody reads them. You do all sort of things, but people do not read them. Why? Your headlines or your captions has a lot to do with it, actually. Just the way you can judge a book by its cover. I mean, that's why they are there anyways. Just the way you can judge a book by its cover. The same way people can sense your content mile away. So it's going to give them, hey, should I read this one? Should I not read it? So today we are talking about headlines. We talked about it the last episode, and because the last episode wasn't so perfect, I was doing it in my bedroom. I was tired. But this one, I tried to make it as professional and as clean as possible. Of course, if it's not clean, please forgive me for that, but I will try to always make the subsequent episodes as clean as possible. So let's talk about headlines. What are headlines? Why do we need them? Why is it so important? You have heard copywriting, content writing, presentation, business proposals. Talk about headlines. Talk about titles, talk about captions. Why do we need these things? So we are going to flesh all of that out in this podcast. My name is Olalekanmandela, Mandela of Nigeria, not of South Africa, and this is Become a Better Writer podcast. In case you are just listening for the first time, this is a podcast where you learn how to write and improve your writing ability by listening to less than 10-minute podcast a day. It's as easy as that. One thing you can do for me, you are listening to this thing for free now. One thing you can do for me is to make sure you help me share this podcast. Please share it to your friends, share it to so that more people can listen to this. Another thing you can do for me is to give this podcast a 5-star. When you give it a 5-star and you now back it up with a positive, beautiful, excellent review, do you know what will happen to the algorithm? The algorithm will be like, wow, people love this. Okay, so let me send it to Lagbaja. Let me send it to this one. Let me send it to that one. Because people will be like, okay, people are reacting to this podcast. That means more people like it. So algorithm will push this podcast forward. So for so many people out there that haven't heard about this podcast and they really want to learn, please try and share this podcast. Just tell your friends, oh, listen to that podcast. Just pick any episode and listen and give it a 5-star review. I will be very grateful. So back to our topic. Why headlines? Why captions? Why titles? Why is it so important? We discussed the 4 major use of writing power and attention grabbing headlines in our last episode. Today we'll be talking about quick 5 headlines tip you should always imbibe. But before we go into that, let's go for a short musical and we will be back for the rest of the choice.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Just imagine we woke up in paradise. Don't need magic. Let my thoughts just carry us home, home tonight. Future's golden. Don't let go, don't give it up. Just keep holding. Even when you've had enough, I will be your light. Take you back to where you're from, Chariot.
Welcome back from that short musical. Of course, you are still listening to Become a Better Writer podcast with Olalekanmandela. So without further ado, let's take a recap of what we did the last time. The 4 use of getting powerful and attention-grabbing headlines. And we say, 1, it must be urgent. Make sure that your headline is urgent. Let them have this urgency. Let us have this urgency finish. For example, you can see 12 new Netflix series to entertain your guest this October. We would like to listen to that. Another one is be unique. People like new things and something extraordinary. Something that will strike an emotion in them. So make it as unique as possible. Another thing is be ultra specific. Be specific. Instead of saying how to make money online, just say how to make money online in 30 days without leaving the comfort of your home. You have been specific. You are trying to tell them they won't leave the comfort of their home and they will still make their money, and you give them a guarantee of making that money in 30 days. That is cool. And the last one is make sure your headline is very useful. For example, the complete guide to using stock photos in your marketing campaign. Step-by-step procedure to live an excellent campus life, even as a fresher. That is useful. You understand? That's what we recapped the last time. Now we are going into quick 5 headlines tip. Why are we talking about headlines? Is because no matter what kind of writing you are doing, you want to make sure that you attract your audience. You captivate them to read more. The main goal of your headline is to get the first sentence read. So you want to make sure you captivate them, you attract them as much as possible. So one of the tips I have for power grabbing headlines here is number one, you can ask questions. Ask question, for example, you can say, are you too clever for success? You can ask question like, have you been struggling to make money online? This one will prove you wrong. You can write something like, have you been trying to get a perfect skincare product for your baby? Then you should check out this. Ask questions. People, when you ask questions, you give them this kind of strike this emotion like, okay, what are you trying to say? Of course. Then the second one is make sure you include numbers and stats. When you include numbers and statistics, it gives your headline this credibility. Not just number. You can include numbers, statistics, percentage, and so many other things. Now, when you include these things, it makes your headlines look credible. Like the example I gave the other time, how to make money online in 30 days without leaving the comfort of your home. Will you put in 30 days added credibility? Or you can say 7 easy steps to become a writer today, or 7 simple tips to sound better as a presenter. Keep it simple and direct. Keep it simple and direct. One of the examples of this is how to cook your own shawarma in your own kitchen. Some people do not know how to cook shawarma. Now, saying how to cook your own shawarma in your own kitchen, they feel like, wow, really? Okay, let me know. Bust my brain. Of course. Another one here is make a bold claim. Now, this is different from controversy, or this is different from whining them, or this is different from flattering them. No, we don't want pageant of flattery in our headlines. We just want to make a bold claim. For example, become a millionaire before the age of 30, or here is simple step to join Forbes list of 40 under 40 millionaires. I mean, nobody will see that and say, oh, let me just check this out. Let me check this out. Another one. Okay, let me use this example. Supermodels do this to look amazing. Click here to see. Wow. Or you can just say, click here to see the secret South Korean use to decrease aging. Or click here to see Asian secret to reducing aging. I mean, they love that kind of thing. Okay, now let me give you one of the big tips that I use to create my own headline. One of the tips I do is I make sure I write 20 headlines from different perspectives, over research, over a lot of things. And when I write these 20 headlines, I will pick the best 5 or the best 10. Then I will pick the best 5. Then from the best 5, I pick the best 3. Best 3, I might show few persons, maybe my copywriting friends or my friends or writer friends or just intellectual person, and tell them to pick which one looks more captivating to them, and they will pick it for me. That is exactly how I write my powerful grabbing headline. So thank you so much for listening. It's been a long ride of a roller coaster. We have come to the end of this podcast. Thanks for listening to this podcast to the end. I hope you've gained something. My name still remains Olalekanmandela, Mandela of Nigeria and out of South Africa. If you would like to connect with me personally or join our WhatsApp writing family community at absolutely no fee, then do it to send me a message on my social media handles at Olalekanmandela on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn or TikTok, or click the link in the description below. Also, if you have any job offers or looking to collaborate with me or need some branding advice, please feel free to reach out to me via the link in the description or forward a mail to olalekanmandela@gmail.com. I will try to respond within 24 hours. Please, I'm begging you, kindly share this podcast on WhatsApp, Instagram, and other social media platforms. It really helps this podcast grow and help the algorithm. Also, please try to give it a 5-star rating. And thank you so much. I love you. Till our next date on this podcast. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.